Hello? Hi. So I'm Steve Cavin. I'm working on a children's book. This chapter in the children's book is called Poison. It's about two kids who live in a small village in Wales, on the River Wye. Zoe and Horace went to school at a small schoolhouse in the village. Neither of them understood why this was necessary or even useful, but neither minded it very much, and it gave them a chance to hang out with each other. And there just being one school, all why not? And just enough for children to fill it. Besides, they had the long, warm summers off to spend together on tea parties and great adventures. One day, a new girl showed up in class. "What's your name?" asked Zoe. Before the girl could answer, the teacher spoke up. "Class," said Miss Monley. "This is Mary. She's come to us from far, far away. I trust you'll all make her feel real welcome." Mary smiled shyly at Zoe. Zoe smiled back, not sure what to say next. Zoe couldn't remember ever meeting someone from far, far away. She looked the little girl over. Mary was smaller than Zoe, with dark brown hair pulled back into a ponytail and dark brown eyes and pale white skin. Mary's nose was a little crooked, like a picture hung on a wall that just never seems quite straight. Hold on a second. Could we have, while I'm reading the story, could we not have the stereo going in the background? Thank you. Mary's nose was a little crooked, like a picture hung on a wall that just never seems quite straight. She had really dark eyebrows, and Zoe felt sure that her left ear was slightly higher than her right. Horace wasted no time. "Hi," said Horace. "I'm Horace." Horace stuck out his hand in friendship, and Mary took it and smiled gently. Saying nothing, just smiled quietly to herself. There was a long silence. "When did you get here?" said Zoe, trying to make conversation. "Do you like owls?" said Mary. It was a sort of unexpected question, but Zoe was enthusiastic. "Yes," said Zoe. Zoe was very fond of most creatures, especially wild ones. "We have a barn owl in our attic," said Horace. "I feed him mice when I can find them." Mary and Zoe sighed. Boys were so predictable. You start a conversation about mystery and wonder, and they turned it into blood and guts. "How interesting," said Mary pleasantly. "I must meet your owl sometime." Horace beamed with satisfaction. Mary smiled at him. It was then that Zoe felt something she'd never felt before. Author's note number 7, jealousy. No matter how much someone likes you, they like others too. Don't worry, there's enough love to go around. Zoe smiled weakly. "I'd love to meet your owl too," she said. She couldn't remember Horace having an owl or saying anything about owls before. Horace thought that he saw something in her face that he couldn't quite understand, but decided to let it go. He wondered what he might have said to upset Zoe. She'd never indicated any interest in owls before. Mary said goodbye as the bell rang and gathered up her books and hurried out of the classroom. Disappeared into the crowded hallway. Horace thought her a slightly strange person, given to abrupt changes in mood and conversation. Nonetheless, he did find her rather attractive in an odd sort of way, and she was interested in some of the things he was interested in, and that was a good start anyway. At the day's end, Zoe was relieved to find that Mary was nowhere in sight, and so she and Horace could walk home quietly together, just like they'd always done. Zoe wasn't sure why Mary's interest in Horace bothered her, but she probably learned to like Mary eventually, given a few years. The next day, Mary sat next to Horace in class. She didn't say anything during lessons, but had occasion to exchange a few words with Horace now and then. At lunch, she found herself sitting alone at one table. Horace noticed her sitting alone and thought it would be a rather friendly gesture to move over and eat lunch with her. He sat down next to her, and in no time they were chattering gaily about dogs that bite, crisp autumn apples, and how to choose a perfectly ripe watermelon. Horace never dreamed he'd meet someone who knew so much about so many, many things. Zoe quickly got up and moved to Mary's table, taking the empty place across from Horace. "I got bitten once," she offered as she took a seat. "Really?" said Mary. "That must have been very scary." "Oh no," said Zoe casually. It wasn't so bad. Healed up in a couple of weeks. Would you like to see the scars?" "Maybe another time," said Mary. Lots of people were a bit squeamish about viewing scars during mealtime. Zoe understood, though she herself never minded seeing a really good cut or scrape anytime. Mary was a good speller and a dedicated butterfly collector. She could jump rope and hopscotch with the best of them. She even had a fair singing voice. The following week, the whole third grade began buzzing about the upcoming spelling bee. Now, the contest was open to any student in the third grade, and there was always a pretty good turnout for the event, since why not? It was a small place, and everybody knew everybody. It was exciting and plain good manners to come to the spelling bee and turn in a good effort yourself or cheer for your chosen champion. And that was where the trouble started. Zoe was something of a champion at spelling and had already won the contest twice during her young career. People generally considered her the favorite to win, and Zoe had come to expect this as well. But when Mary showed up at the tryouts and quickly proved herself by spelling 2 or 3 particularly tricky words, Zoe realized that her position at the top was no longer assured. "Mary's an awesome speller," said Jake, a tall, lanky boy who lived above the general store. "I think she'll give you a run for your money, Zoe." "She's sharp, all right," said May, a girl about Zoe's height with pigtails. May and her family ran the laundry in town. "I wonder why we've never met her parents. They must be very proud of her." "I heard she doesn't have parents," said Zoe rather suddenly. "In fact," continued Zoe, "I heard that her mother stole something and had to go to prison. That's why she had to leave town to move here and start over." "Heard it from who?" said Horace. He gave Zoe a rather critical look. "Oh, it's common knowledge," said Zoe. "Everybody knows it's true." Author's note number 8, gossip. Gossip comes in 3 flavors. One is the story you know isn't true, but you know it, but you tell it anyway. The second is a story you think might be true, but you don't really know for sure. The third and most destructive is a story you know to be true, but will probably hurt the other person. When preparing to gossip, imagine how you'd feel if someone did that to you. Just then Mary came by. "Hi," said Mary. Everybody just stared. "Hi," said Horace finally. Suddenly everybody had something to do and they scattered like crows. "Would you like to swing on the swings?" asked Mary. "Not right now," said Horace. "What's wrong?" asked Mary. People were acting a little strange today. "Zoe said you don't have parents," said Horace, "because your mom stole something and went to prison." "Oh," cried Mary, "it's starting all over again." "What?" asked Horace. He was sorry for what he'd said. Mary covered her face in her hands and ran away sobbing. The next day Mary wasn't in class. Miss Marmalade explained that she was homesick with the flu. But she didn't show up the next day or the day after. Finally she came to school again and didn't talk to anyone. She just sat at her desk. Horace figured she'd brighten up during the spelling practice, but the contest was only 2 days away. But Mary sat at her desk and looked out the window. On the day of the contest, everyone dressed up extra special. Miss Marmalade hung a large banner across the stage in the gym. At 10 in the morning, all the classes filed into the gym and the contest began. Zoe was first, stepping up on stage and facing the whole school. "Spell house," said Miss Marmalade. "House," said Zoe. House, house. "That is correct," said Miss Marmalade. Each contestant took their turn. When it was Horace's turn, he stepped up and smiled. He really liked spelling. "Spell watch," said Miss Marmalade. "Watch," said Horace. W-A-T-C-H, watch. "That is correct," said Miss Marmalade. The 5-letter words were easy but could be tricky. Finally, it was Mary's turn. She stepped quietly to the front. "Spell happy," said Miss Marmalade. "Happy," said Mary. H-A-P-P-Y, happy. Suddenly she burst into tears and ran from the stage. Everyone wondered what had happened. Horace looked at Zoe. Zoe thought about what she'd said and how Mary must be feeling. At this very moment, she asked Miss Marmalade to excuse her and ran out into the hall looking for Mary. Mary was nowhere to be seen. Zoe thought to herself, where would I be if I felt really bad? She walked down the hall to the girls' bathroom, and sure enough, Mary was there, crying. "What's the trouble?" asked Zoe. "Everyone thinks my mom is a Jailbird, cried Mary. She looked right at Zoe. "I don't think your mom's a jailbird," said Zoe earnestly. "I'm very sorry for what I said to the others. Why don't you tell me how it really is for you?" Mary looked up through her tears. "I used to have a mom and a dad," said Mary. "We lived in an apartment in the city. My mom used to bake cookies for me, and my dad used to carry me on his shoulders everywhere he went." "Sounds lovely," said Zoe. "It was great," said Mary. "Then one day my dad just didn't come home. My mom cried and cried. She got a job at the department store downtown." "I see," said Zoe. "Then one day my mom fell down as she was cooking dinner. She went to the doctor and..." Mary stopped. "What happened?" said Zoe. "She had an illness. She got a little more tired each day until she couldn't get up any longer, and then she died." "I'm sorry," said Zoe. "I went to live with my grandparents and then my aunt, and now I live with my uncle here in Wynot. His housekeeper fixes my meals and washes my clothes, but he's hardly ever around. I feel so alone." Mary stopped and looked at Zoe. Zoe reached out and took her hand. "You're not alone," said Zoe. She smiled at Mary. Mary smiled back. Zoe. Let's go show him how it's done. So Zoe and Mary walked back to the gym hand in hand. And so it went. By the time they got to the 8-letter words, there were only 5 contestants remaining. It was Jake's turn. Spell strength, said Miss Marmalade. Strength, said Jake. S-T-R-E-G-N-T-H. Strength. That is incorrect, said Miss Marmalade. Now it was Horace's turn. Strength, said Horace. S-T-R-E-N-G-T-H. Strength. Correct, said Miss Marmalade. By the time they got to the 9-letter words, only Zoe and Mary remained. No matter how many tricks Miss Marmalade threw at them, they spelled each word perfectly. Everyone grew very excited. Who would win? Zoe or Mary? Then something happened, something that had never happened at the spelling bee before. Spell happiness, said Miss Marmalade. She looked at Zoe, and Zoe looked at Mary and smiled. Happiness, said Zoe. F-R-I-E-N-D-S-H-I-P. Happiness. Miss Marmalade looked confused. That is incorrect, she said at last. All eyes were on Mary. Spell happiness, said Miss Marmalade. Mary looked at Zoe and with a huge smile and said, happiness. T-O-G-E-T-H-E-R. Happiness. I declare the contest a tie, said Miss Marmalade. And the winners, shouted the kids, and they rushed up to congratulate Mary and Zoe. That year, for the first time ever, there were 2 names printed side by side on the trophy in the trophy case.
Steve Cavin, everyone.